Community-minded and Montreal to the core. Elias Makos, CJAD 800.
Here's Jeopardy! Please welcome today's contestant, a high school teacher from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Joshua Parr.
Oh, what a thrill that must have been for our next guest, Joshua Parr, teacher at Loyola High School and a former contestant on Jeopardy, and he joins us on the line. Hi, Joshua.
Hi there.
So, Joshua, for me, I rarely get emotional on celebrity deaths. But when I heard the news yesterday that Alex Trebek had passed away, boy, it was like a punch to the gut. I'd love to know, as someone that loves the show Jeopardy and was on the show and got to meet Alex Trebek, what were your thoughts on hearing the news?
Well, when I heard it, I mean, one of the first things that came to mind was I really can't even picture what the show will be like without him. He's become so closely tied to what the show is and what, just it's almost like you look at it and you try and picture somebody else there, and it just doesn't seem to click. There was something about how much he just seemed to love knowledge and foster this curiosity just for knowing as much as he could about the world around us. That, I mean, there was something he communicated in sort of a quiet, understated way that I know as a contestant, it was just you were there and you're like, you didn't want to disappoint him. You wanted to put up a good showing just so that he wouldn't so much smile at you because he had such an understated way, but just that he would approve, a little nod, a little curve in the lip. It's a huge loss. I just can't imagine what it'll be like without him.
Joshua, can you take us back to when you were on the show? When was it? 2016? Is that right?
Yeah, 2016.
So tell us about that, meeting Alex on the show and that experience.
Well, the taping for my episode, because they tape a few episodes in the day, mine was actually the first of the day. So I hadn't seen him yet until he came out for the actual episode, and it's this moment of anticipation. What's it going to be like to actually see him there? And one of the things that surprised me was the persona that he had when the cameras weren't rolling. Was he really had this relationship with the audience in the studio, where he was trying to bring them inside. That he could tell that they were excited to be in the studio, and he had just gone through some surgery on his knees, so he was hobbling around a bit. He wasn't quite as mobile as he would have liked to be, and so he just kept talking in this sort of grouchy way about, oh my goodness, here I am again. But whenever the cameras were stopped, he'd go to the edge of the stage and chat with the audience, answer questions from them. They'd all have tons of questions. And then, when he goes around and he asks you the questions, you see it on the show, right? There's the little point where he's coming around and asking you a few questions about yourself. You just sort of freeze up because he's right there. He's right in front of you. It's Alex Trebek. So it was great to be able to meet him. I really, you don't really get to see him that much more than what you see on the show, right? You chat with him a little bit at the end when the credits are rolling, but even that just experience to see him in the flesh is very surreal.
The connection, the rapport he had, not just with contestants, but the studio and then the audience at home, is legendary. Let's listen to a little bit of the best of Alex Trebek.
This term for a long-handled gardening tool can also mean an immoral pleasure seeker. Ken?
What's a hoe?
No. Whoa! They teach you that in school in Utah, huh, Al? What's a rake? A rake is right.
I think it's very fun. It's called nerdcore hip-hop. It's
Nerdcore
hip-hop. Yes. People who identify as nerdy, rapping about the things they love, video games, science fiction, having a hard time meeting romantic partners, It's really catchy and fun.
Losers, in other words.
Well,
a little bit of Alex Trebek there. You brought up the fact you can't think of a Jeopardy without Alex Trebek. The new episodes with Alex Trebek as host will continue through to December 25th. Joshua, we're with Joshua Parr, former contestant on Jeopardy and a Montrealer. As you know, I imagine you're going to be watching tonight.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, it's kind of, now that there's no more of them, you want to see every last episode with him in there, because you don't want to. It's one of those things where once you know that there's limited supply and that it's gone, you want to savor every last bit of it.
Was Jeopardy and Alex Trebek, was that something that was on the TV every night as you were growing up?
Well, especially, even now when I go and visit my parents who moved away from Montreal a few years ago, that's still something that we're able to sit down and share, because it's got that appeal across generations, where it's everybody sits there and everybody wants to see if they can come up with the answer before anybody else, and you're all participating from home as if you're there. And it was something that was on at home, and we all love to play along with it.
Joshua, can we honor Alex Trebek right now if I ask you a question that is Montreal related that was actually on Jeopardy? See if you can get it.
Oh, okay. This has me very nervous, but I'll give it a shot.
Category is Masters of Six. It's for $400. Okay? Masters of Six is the category. This company is so over Texas, it operates Montreal's La Ronde and a theme park in Mexico City, too.
What is Six Flags?
There you go. You got it. All right, Joshua. A little ode to Alex Trebek. Thank you so much for coming on the program and catching up and reminiscing. I really do appreciate it.
My pleasure.